stunning, I like shining, I like $1,000,000 deals. Where's my pen? Bitch, I'm signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to the Tula, I put rocks all in my watch. I like texts from my exes when they want a second chance. I like proving niggas wrong, I do what they say I can't. They call me Cardi, Cardi, banging body, spicy mommy, hot tamale, hotter than a shot, Molly, bird, cold, Ferrari, hop off the stoop, jump in the coupe, hit the bar on top of the roof, flexing on bitches as hard as I can, eating halal, driving a lamb. So that bitch, I'm sorry though, rock my coins like Mario. Yeah, they call me Cardi B, I run this shit like cardio. Woo!
Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Again, my name is Jay Frost, and today we're going to do more of a serious type of video, and it's more talking about my stats more than anything. And I know you guys saw my video that dealt with basically my college acceptances and reactions, and today is going to be more so about the colleges that I got accepted to, rejected from, the scholarships I may have received from certain colleges, the stats such as my GPA, my extracurriculars, my SAT and ACT, and you know, that's pretty much going to be the topic of this video. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to be upset, and you'll probably understand as we get further into the video. So let's basically start with my stats. So I'm a senior, obviously, duh. I'm a senior in high school. I applied to 32 colleges, as you guys probably know from the other video, and I heard back from 26 or 27 of them about. I'm the fourth ranked student in my class of 265 or so, somewhere around there, and my unweighted GPA is a 3.84, and my weighted GPA is a 4.3. I have been involved in pretty much everything my entire life, and we're gonna go over some of the classes I took from 9th to 12th grade basically. So in 9th grade I took English 9, Algebra 1, Biology, World History, Spanish 1, Physical Education, which is a requirement. I don't know why. I took ROTC, JROTC, which is basically an Army Cadet program, and I have no interest in being in the Army whatsoever, so I don't know why I took that program, but it was good to, you know, get the sportsmanship out of it because it was really fun. And I was also in, a class that we had to take in my other school that I transferred from. It was called Seminar, and it was just a kind of an hour class that we just sat and, you know, watched videos and stuff. We got graded for it. Don't know why we really didn't do anything out of there. And life skills. Then in 10th grade, I had Geometry Honors, Civics Honors, Economic Honors, Vocals. I love singing. That's a passion of mine. I kind of stopped doing it after 10th grade, but I probably might get back into it in the collegiate level. Maybe, I don't know. Chemistry Honors, English 10 Honors, and Spanish 2. 11th grade, I took Trigonometry, Environmental Science, AP, U.S. History, Honors. I understand most people take U.S. History in 9th grade, but I didn't have, I took World History instead, so it switched around for me. And I took, Algebra 2 Honors, Mass Communication, which is a class that basically deals with communicating with, you know, different programs, how to talk to people, how to present in front of an audience, how to, you know, speak properly, have great posture, such things as that. English AP 11, and then I had Spanish 3. Now, the classes I'm currently taking right now are Computer Science, English 12 AP, Yearbook, Calculus, Anatomy and Physiology, and Accounting 3. And I know it says I never took any accounting classes, but the Accounting 3 teacher recommended me for her class, and you can only get that if you get either recommended or you take an Accounting 1 and 2, and then it turns to Accounting 4 after your first semester. So Accounting 3 and 4 are split into 2 semesters. So I ended up taking, I'm in accounting 4 right now, so technically it's different. Okay, that was my classes. Now, I consider myself a well-rounded student. I had a few APs, not a lot. You know, I've seen people take about maybe 6 through 8 of them or so, but I wasn't really trying to overwhelm myself, even though I love having like a lot of stuff on me. I don't know, it sounds kind of weird, but I like a challenge. So stress kind of helps me, it motivates me, and it helps me work a little harder. But, you know, that's not for everybody. This time I wanted to make sure my, you know, senior career wasn't so packed with classes, so I could focus on my extracurriculars, because I know that's a great, important part of the college application process as well. Yeah, so my computer died on me. That's great. Anyways, I left off on extracurriculars. So I was involved. I am the student council president of the 12th grade, which technically is also the student body president, because the 12th grade is also in charge of everything else. I was the NHS president in 11th grade. I'm a student ambassador. I've been a student ambassador in the 10th, 11th, and 12th, which basically is a person who takes 8th graders on tours and stuff, and we give them an overview of our high school to try to get them to, you know, choose to come here. I was in the green team. I interned for the Julian C. Madison building, which is kind of like a different building of different different places. There's a Detroit Medical Center. There is a painting with a twist inside of there as well. And the person I was working for was on the Black Caucus board, and she held a lot of events with the governor and the mayors and Senator Debbie Stabenow and various others. So I got to meet a lot of the high brass, which also kind of rubbed off on me, because it was more so like I got a chance to feel what it might be like when I'm an adult. And technically you're probably thinking like, you're an adult already, you're, you know, about to graduate, but I don't think you're an adult until you can sufficiently provide for yourself without having the help of a parent or another person. That's just my definition. It's not everybody's. I was the student government vice president in 11th grade, and I became a student government president in 12th grade. I am the owner of 2 YouTube channels from 9th all the way to 12th, and I'm still doing that as of now, obviously. I've been a chess team member from 9th grade, and I was the captain in this year. So, you know, there's that. I was a Dave Bingo mentee from 11th through 12th. Actually, no, it started in 10th grade as well. So the end of my 10th grade year all the way till now, I'm currently still a Dave Bingo mentee. I was a STARS mentor, which basically, you know, mentors kids who are at least 2 years younger than us. So when I was in 11th grade, when I started, I mentored 9th graders. Now that I'm in 12th grade, I mentor 10th and 9th graders. So, you know, it gives me that, gives them the ability to throw my perspective of high school onto them, and not in a bad way, to where it's, you know, upsetting the balance between us all. If you get what I mean. I was a ACME volunteer, which their abbreviation is basically the acronyms AFSCME, which is the American Federation of State County Employees. And I was a volunteer for them from 9th all the way to now. I was a Gleaners volunteer from 11th through 12th grade. I volunteered reading for kids 11th and 12th grade. I am a Victors president, which is, Victors is like a club outside of school where we basically it's not anything to do with a certain college or anything. It's more just a college readiness program. I am a BPA member, which is Business Professionals of America. and that's a competition where you just do different categories and you compete against schools from, first it's regionals, which is in your school district, then you have states, which is against everybody in your entire state, then you have nationals, which is against everyone in the United States. I was a member of journalism and a member of yearbook, and that's currently now. So now that I have my extracurriculars out of the way, you can see that I've been involved in a lot of things, and some people will fall under the pressure, but for me it was just very, good to be able to do that. Alright, so now we're going to go into stats, and for the SAT, this is why I say you're going to get mad, because my stats pretty much are lower than a lot of people who didn't get into some of the schools that I did get into, and I feel like I shouldn't be ashamed of anything, because I'm just very bad at tests. I hate taking tests unless it's something I love. So for the SAT, I got a 970. Don't look at me like that. I know you're looking at me like, what? But yeah, I got a 970, and I wasn't like really, that mad, because I just know I'm terrible at tests. So especially standardized tests, which are not supposed to be given to you based on what you have learned in school. It's kind of what they think you should have known already. And different school districts are different. They teach different things, teach different ways. So I can't really say that I can blame myself for that. It's just the school district that I'm in, maybe just because of what happened that day. Different things go into the factor of your test score. So don't ever let a certain test score reflect of who you are. Your intelligence has nothing to do with the certain score you get. Now for the SAT, I got a 19. I thought I was going to be really upset about that, because I thought I would get a little bit higher, but I got a 24 in the category of science, so I was kind of okay, because I know science is my best category on anything. Science is like, I love science so much. So, that did have a part to play in it as well. So, if you think, my test scores are deplorable and should never be shown anywhere in history, and I should not have said anything about them, I can say you're wrong, because it's my individual test scores, my GPA, and my extracurriculars all made up for that. And me as a person, that's what colleges are looking at in a holistic view. They're not just looking at your certain test scores or how you perform in this certain test over this test. It's about you as an entire person. And test scores are just one part of the category, and it's, well, not the category, but the evaluation. And it's not everything. It's probably the smallest part, in my opinion, of the evaluation of colleges. So, take it or leave it. Now, I'm going to read my essay that I submitted on the Common App for every college that I applied to. And the title is Les Chaînes des Interprètes, which translates to the chains of the interpreters. I decided to go with a French title, because to reflect that, I'm not just a person who is, I only know one language. I do know a lot of them. So for me, that just reflected some of my personality. So I'm going to just start with reading this. So the first part basically says, lines cross the border of assimilation and disarrangement, causing voices of the Valkyrie-slain few to be shrouded by the corrosive smog of the interpreters. Their way of life venomous to those that think differently. Those that are not born with it purchase ornaments, never reading their warning kits, and very soon they are bored with it. That basically kind of says, like, if you're born different, everyone tries to make you feel like you're an outcast and a person that should not be existing, and you try to fix yourself by purchasing different things to make yourself better, and before you know what you're really getting yourself into, you find out that it's not what you thought and you can't change it anymore. So then you get bored with it and try to fix something else. Now I'm going to continue. The chains of the interpreters force us to beseech the professionals, which impale us with pins like vegetables. It is such a mistake that little girls do not grow into their mothers' faces. Instead, they learn how to sever and paste, and pucker up their lips until they suffocate. They hear phrases like, "Don't be dramatic, it's only some plastic." In truth, we are crippled by the stagnant ideals of our cookie-cutter species. Though I broke those chains long ago. Life has been overflowing with infused social views, superficial friendships, and comical moments of embarrassment. The most painful time was the time I spent in high school. If you did not have the perfect figure, rock-hard abs, a flawless face, petrified outside the bounds of time, you were screwed. I said this because I, never cared about my figure or my appearance or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure that I was being myself. So, in school, especially in high school, you're getting this personification of you as soon as someone sees you. Before they even get to know you, they look at you and say, oh, they're going to be a geek, or they're going to be super lame, or they're going to be, the cool person, so let me hang with them. Then as they get to know you, they kind of change their perspective of, if you're the popular kid that they thought you were, you're not anymore, because they know exactly who you are. So it kind of changes your perspective. That's why you make and break friendships in high school, and it's probably the most you're gonna do until you get to college. You see, I did not have those normal qualities. I was a bit rounder than most. My face canvassed with every crater available without breaking some unknown pimple limit. These qualities are what made me who I am. So they did not bother me in the least. Oh my God. Society focuses far too much on the perfect breast and curves that it would be a disservice to add another thing to change about ourselves. Our modern day metropolis tells us that to have more confidence, and however, the cost of a little bit more condiments and $100,000 for some compliments. These additives, such as lip implants, booty busters, and tit inflators, are turning us into literal toys for civilization to destroy and rebuild as many times as desired. This basically, explains, like, we try to get these things done to our bodies that are killing us from the inside, and it's letting society know that they can make and break who we are just by a few words. And, it comes into play, like, if you're a very shallow person and you have no utter confidence at all in yourself, it's going to basically destroy you as a person, and society is going to make sure they do it. Wanting to be happy and beautiful is so rare to achieve, it's an oxymoron. But it is hard to fill a cup which is already full of statistics, stigmas, and labels. When the interpreters are questioned, we are made to feel as if we need to wash our mouths out with soap. We should question it all. Our lives are controlled only by us. However, it feels that our lives are a product of someone else that goes on and off the shelves. We have never been one, I have never been one to throw a pity party for myself. Instead, I would throw one for those that would reject my roller coaster friendship, awkward moments, and hyperactive personality. Life is too short to live by the interpreter's rules. Interpreters, definition: someone that has been riding or on training wheels their entire life, expecting the rest of us to do the same. Luckily, when I was born and there were no training wheels left. Meaning I went through life my own way. I didn't have to, be guided by someone else and learn the ways of how to deal with things. I'm the only child, I'm the oldest child of 7. So I was the one who, basically made an impact on my little brothers and sisters. I was not the one who got an impact made on them. So I just walked through life my own way. We must focus on the true meaning of life. It is not to have the most money, best looks, or the most friends. Life is about the moments you spend embarrassing the crap out of you and your friends, the times you spend chasing your windblown papers, falling face first on the stage in front of everyone, and crying tears of joy without knowing why you're happy. That is what makes you human. The interpreters are no longer human. They are creatures filled with malice, greed, and a want for perfection. Those of us that are still human have already broken les chaînes des interprètes. And that ends my essay. The last part basically is saying, you know, life is not about these superficial friendships that you have. They're not about having the most money. It's about living the life you want to live. You know, having those moments where you do embarrass yourself and you do embarrass your friends. Because at the end of the day, when you look back onto it, you're going to laugh. You're not going to be embarrassed anymore. It's a fleeting feeling. Embarrassment it's so fleeting that it goes away the moment it happens. So for me to try to put my entire life on the line over some moment of embarrassment, I couldn't do that. I'm just not that type of person. Alright, so next we're going to just talk about the schools that I did get into and the schools I got rejected from and what scholarships the percentage of scholarships I got from the schools. Now, don't let my scores fool you. Some of these schools threw a lot of money at me to make sure that I was able to go to them, which I didn't have a problem with the money. It's just more so I feel that if you're smart enough or you have enough personality, schools should look at you and say, you know, they really want you to come to their college. They're going to give you something to entice you. Money, extra activities to do, honors programs, anything. So I'm going to start with the denied list. Even though I don't accuse any of these schools for doing something, you know, wrong. I don't care if they were angry or whatever happened. You know what happened. I don't blame them at all. So I hope they do have a wonderful class. It's the 23 class. So, you know, without further ado, the schools I was denied from were Drexel, Loyola Marymount, Howard University, Florida State University, University of Minnesota, George Washington University, the University of Southern California, Harvard University, Princeton University, and the University of Chicago. And I know probably some of you were like, you wouldn't have had a chance to get into those schools anyway. But again, the college process is a lottery. I got into some schools that I doubted I would ever get in. So, you know, my entire perspective on it has really changed. Now, the schools that I was accepted to, I was accepted into Arizona State University, the University of Arizona, the University of Oregon, Michigan State University, Grand Valley State University, Harris-Stowe State University, Eastern Michigan University, University of Michigan Ann Arbor Campus, University of Virginia, Xavier University of Louisiana, Penn State University, Talladega College, Clark Atlanta University, the University of Miami, Morehouse University, and Morgan State University. Now, you know, there's some big heavy hitters in those acceptances. You know, you got the University of Michigan, which has a 27% acceptance rate for the regular decision process. But I got an early action, and there was like 60,000 students competing for, I think, maybe one or 2,000 spots for this freshman early action class. So, you know, I feel like that was a great accomplishment for me. I got into the University of Virginia, also in early action. I don't know exactly the number, but it was something similar to Michigan. I got first, I got deferred from the University of Miami, and then I got in, but I have to go for the spring part of the year instead of for the fall, which is not bad. I mean, it's still getting to the University of Miami, which has like a 37% acceptance rate or something like that. I got into Penn State, which has a somewhere around a 45 to 55% acceptance. And I got into yeah, those are pretty much the ones that were the harder ones to get into. Arizona State, University of Arizona, and University of Oregon, they had a 50 or above acceptance rate, so I wasn't really that concerned about them. Morehouse College, which is an HBCU, it's one of the more competitive ones. It's probably a 24, 28 acceptance rate, somewhere between there, and I got into there. Clark Atlanta is about a 28 to 30% acceptance rate, so I got into there as well. And Xavier University of Louisiana is the HBCU as well, which was probably a 35 to 40% acceptance rate. So those were some harder ones which were in the HBCU limit. So, you know, I feel like I did pretty good on the college acceptances. Now let's go with the scholarships, and I'm just going to use partial, full, or something maybe like a quarter or a third. So Arizona State gave me a full, and that included room and board and tuition. The University of Arizona gave me I'd say a majority. I'm gonna use that one to describe, because I don't have to pay like $2,000 to $4,000 out of my pocket. So that's, you know, near a full, but it's just a majority. The University of Oregon gave me a partial. Michigan State gave me a full. Grand Valley State gave me a full. Harris-Stowe State gave me a full. Eastern Michigan gave me, I don't know exactly. It was either a majority or full. I'm not sure exactly. The University of Michigan Ann Arbor campus gave me a full ride, which I was so shocked about, because like this blew my mind literally, and I was just like, how is this possible? But the reason for them giving me this scholarship was more so to say, like, my academics were there, my extracurriculars were there, and the scholarship I got was for students that have hard work, leadership, and tons of volunteering. So that's why I got that one. That covered my entire tuition. And I got some other scholarships that had covered my room and board, so I don't have to pay anything really. Actually, I don't have to pay anything at all. The University of Virginia gave me a partial scholarship. Not actually, yeah, partial, because I'm an out-of-state student, so it's like $50,000, and they gave me the majority of that, being like $36,000 or so a year. Don't know exactly what the scholarships were. I just know the amount. The University of Louisiana, or Xavier University of Louisiana, gave me a partial. They're kind of stingy with the money they give out, I guess. I don't know exactly what's the problem. So, yeah. Penn State gave me a partial / majority, because it's like right on the edge, but it's not exactly a majority. Majority for me would be like, you know, $2,000 to $7,000 out of my pocket. That would be a majority. Talladega College gave me a full. Clark Atlanta it gave me a third or so, only because I didn't really do a financial aid or anything like that for them, so I wasn't expecting much anyway. That was just from scholarships and stuff. The University of Miami gave me a partial / majority, and it was no loans, I don't think. It was mostly like grants and scholarships. Morehouse, I have not gotten anything back from them, so I don't know exactly what I got, and neither from Morgan State as well. So yeah, most of the top universities gave me a full or partial, and most of them had no loans. Like University of Michigan has no loans whatsoever, so I paid nothing out of pocket, and I don't have to pay anything back later on, which is a plus. You know, I was gonna really like die of everything if I had to do anything about that. So I'm grateful for them. Thank you, University of Michigan. And I feel that would be everything for this video. So the next video I'll make will be a video about where I'm going to college. So it's going to talk about what I wanted in a college, why I chose this college, what I did. I'm not going to say that yet. So I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.